Hello, welcome back to my corner of the internet, and welcome back to Tabletop Simulator and the Pokemon trading card game. First of all, apologies if my voice is a little bit off today. I am recovering from a bout of the flu, but I'll get there. I'll definitely get there. I hope all of you are well. I hope everybody's feeling good today. And let's get on with some Pokemon. This is going to be the continuation of the tournament that I'm playing with the decks that I own in real life, replicated here onto Tabletop Simulator. We use the unlimited format of decks, and I like to just showcase what I own and have fun, and I hope you enjoy it in the process too. So unlimited format basically means you can use any card from any set. They're all legal. All the normal rules apply. You have a 60 card deck. You can't have more than 4 cards of the same name unless it's a basic energy card. And you have your 6 prizes. You win when you take all 6. All those normal rules are in place, but as you can see on the right hand side, we've got a few rules just to balance things out. In unlimited format, when everything is legal, things can get a bit broken. A little bit, so we balance it out. We just also have those rules. So just a few. The starting player can attack on their first turn, because normally in the real games you can't do that. Any Pokemon EX from before the GX and V era of cards only give you 1 prize card. You used to be able to get 2 prize cards when you beat them because they were more powerful versions of cards. As Pokemon have now got more and more powerful as time's gone on, those cards not as powerful anymore. So we just have the 1 prize card for them now. It just works that way, a little bit easier. And when you build your decks, we only limit it to 12 trainer cards. That encompasses trainers, supporters, Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards. Again, it just balances things out a little bit, makes things a bit easier for the gameplay, because you could run through and have 30 or so trainers in your decks, which a lot of guys do in the professional gameplays and stuff. And you can run through your deck. You can get everything you need in 1 or 2 turns. The game is over, and it's not as much fun. And I don't think you'd enjoy it as much either. So we do that. We have a little additional rule for fossil trainer cards, but we'll come to that on a deck where we have them. And all cards, you read them as they are, apart from potion cards, which are 30 healed, as they've always been made to be the same, no matter what they say. And as I mentioned, all the decks here I have built in the game are built using cards I own on a real life 1-to-1 scale. Now I really hope today's match is going to be a good one, because I've not had the best matches recently, so let's hope this is good. We're going to start with this deck here. I just want to show you. We've got the Shiftry captained deck, and I adore this deck, and I've actually done it a bit of a disservice. I think I could make a better version of this in the future, but yeah, it's got a Shiftry's got a Pokebody here called Unlucky Wind. Pokebodies are in active play pretty much all the time, and this one says as long as Shiftry is your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent flips a coin during their turn, you treat it as a tails. And its top attack does Conform. And Conform basically says if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, the defending Pokemon is now confused. So you kind of pick up on what the card is trying to get you to do here. Confuse your opponent, and then when they flip to attack, because that's what you got to do when you're confused, you got to flip to attack. You get a heads, the attack goes through. You get a tails, you hit yourself. It kind of mimics the whole confusion in the video game. But of course, that is dependent on having the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. And if you can put it off, it's brilliant. The guy's going to hit themselves all the time. But that's where this Nuzleaf comes into play. Nuzleaf's the pre-evolution of Shiftry, and his top attack for any energy at all will confuse you. Straight away, just up and down, you're going to hit yourself. But wait, I hear you ask. What about when you evolve? You evolve Nuzleaf into Shiftry, you haven't got his moves anymore. That's where this memory capsule Pokemon tool card comes into play. The Pokemon this card is attached to can use any attacks from its previous evolutions. You attach this tool card to the Nuzleaf, the Shiftry, whatever. You can use Nuzleaf's Eerie Light attack at the same time as Shiftry being your active Pokemon, and away you go. As you can see, the whole deck is built around this strategy of getting Shiftry up. There are a couple of stadium cards that also do the same thing as Memory Capsule, so hopefully we'll see that come into play. But yeah, basically the whole deck is built around this, and it's probably a bit where the disservice to the deck has been done, because the supporting cards here They're good cards. I love them to bits. I need more powerful cards. So I'm hoping to build this deck a bit better next time with some powerful backup. But let me show you what I've got at the moment. We have these two here, Weavile and Zoroark, our little nasty boys over here. Nasty Plot. They both have that as a top move, and it basically allows me to search for anything I want and put it into my hand. So Zoroark searches for 1, Weavile searches for 2. And then we have Masquerain over here, who takes less damage from attacks as long as he's active, and his attack helps me draw 2 cards. So as you can see, the whole thing is based around getting Shiftry out. And that's what the strategy of this deck is. His opponent today is the Gigalith championed deck, which is obviously a bit difficult because there's a weakness level here. There is some fighting weakness over this side and the Shiftry deck. But let me show you Gigalith and Mudsdale. We'll show you to begin with. Gigalith, he's got 150 HP, so he's a strong boy. Core Cannon, his top attack does more damage for each energy card you put on him, as long as it's a fighting one, and you can hit any one that you like. Mudsdale is really good. He's the big donkey boy, and he's got Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam is 180 damage, and it does 30 less damage for each normal energy card in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. So to use Mudsdale as an example there, he's got 3 retreat costs on his energy. So you have to pay 3 energies to retreat him. So if you had his attack, it would do 90 damage because you take out 30 for each one of those energies in the retreat cost. This deck is half colourless, which is always fun to do because you can just have fun with colourless Pokemon. But some colourless Pokemon are really powerful too, and that's where Porygon Z comes into play. Porygon Z is awesome because they do some funky things that mess around with your deck. The Porygon 2 and Porygon Z quite often will do that. So I've got 3 of them in this deck. I'm going to show you 2 here. The older one on the right hand side, 110 HP, has a conversion at Poké Power, and you can discard a basic energy card from your hand, and Porygon Z becomes the same type as that energy card until the end of your turn. That can be really helpful for weakness and resistance, especially with the whole weakness thing going on this side with the fighting types. And Tri-Attack, 3 coins, attack does 40 damage times the number of heads. So unless Shiftry's in play and you're going to get all the tails, you could potentially get 120 damage with that. Again, could be quite powerful. And then we have the newer Porygon Z over here that does Initialize. And Initialize, when you play it from your hand to evolve Porygon Z, you can devolve your opponent's Pokemon and put them back into the opponent's hand, the highest stage evolution card. So to give you an example of how that works, you look at Nuzleaf and Shiftry over here again. If Shiftry is out and active and he's got 120 damage on him, he's not going to be knocked out because he's got 130 HP. But if you do the devolve thing and you put Shiftry back in the hand, Nuzleaf now is going to have 120 damage on him and is going to be knocked out. So that can cause quite a lot of chaos. And Zap Cannon does 80 damage as well. One of the other things to show you in this deck is the double colourless energies. There's a few of them in this deck. They are special energy cards, which are pretty awesome. You can only have 4 of them in your deck because of that, but it does mean that you can power up boys a lot quicker. As you see, Gigalith needs 1 fighting energy and 3 of any kind. That counts for 2 of those. Obviously, colourless Pokemon, it will count for 2 of those as well. So there you go. There is the current decks, and we're just going to get things set up and get ready to have a match, and hopefully it's going to be a really good one. While I'm doing this, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been watching, commenting, liking, subscribing on my channel, everything like that. Really, really happy to see people engaging with this. I hope you like and comment on this video too, subscribe, all that good stuff. But there is one comment to point out. One of my followers on here said that I've been setting up wrong. I've been putting the prize cards down straight away before realising we got a basic Pokemon in our hands or not. Really good point, because you should be drawing your 7 cards first. You draw your 7 cards, you check if you have a basic Pokemon. If you do, you can play that Pokemon to start the game. If you don't, you shuffle your hand into your deck again, and your opponent gets the opportunity, if they want to draw an extra card in their hand to get a bit of a bonus. So let's set things up the right way, and let's draw 7 cards on here. Let's see what we get. 1, we've got a basic Pokemon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, we've got one basic Pokemon. So let's put our 6 prize cards up here. As we said, of course, you take all 6 prize cards, you win the game. Take a prize card when you knock out a Pokemon. So there we go, 6 prize cards over here. Let's draw 7 on this side for the Gigalith deck. 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we're not got any basics yet. 5. We got one. 6 and 7. Right, okay. We do have a basic. We have 1 on each side. Normally I would say, obviously at this point, I'm not going to put myself in the mindset of knowing. I'm going to put myself in the mindset of not knowing what's in each other's hands, even though I'm playing both sides of these matches. But we've only got 1 basic on each side. So we've got this guy here, Zorua, who has Scratch and Nasty Plot. We have Nuzleaf, the Eerie Light guy, but we can't use him yet. We don't have Seedot, who is the basic Pokemon. So we're going to start with Zorua. We only have Sudowoodo on this deck, and Sudowoodo has a move called Watch and Learn, and if your opponent's Pokemon use an attack during their last turn, you use it as this attack. It's quite funny, the artwork, because obviously he's a tree, and behind him is a lot of Trevenants, the ghost trees, and he's just picking up what they do. I love that. I love the stories you get in some of these artworks. Really good. But here we go. So we're going to flip our Pikachu dice. Heads for left side, Shiftry, and tails for right side, Gigalith. Tails, so these guys get to start. So we're going to draw a card to start our turn. We've drawn a Boldor. Okay, cool. So we've got 2 stage 1s in our hand. We can't use those yet. We've got a potion we don't need yet, and we have some energy cards. Sudowoodo needs 2 energy cards to get going. So we're going to put 1 on him, and we can only put 1 down per turn, so we're just going to have to finish up there. Very quick first turn. However, going first gives us the advantage because we'll be able to be ready to watch and learn next time. So let's draw a card on this side. We've drawn Surskit. We're going to put him straight on the bench. And then we're going to play Zorua. We're going to play the Dark Energy card on Zorua. We've got 2 supporter cards in our hand, Team Skull Grunt and Boss's Orders. We can only play 1 supporter card per turn. The player who starts the game can't play any on their first turn, but we didn't start the game this side. So I'm going to play Team Skull Grunt. Now I would play this anyway. Normally I play this as soon as I can, as long as the opponent's got a decent sized hand. Because your opponent reveals their hand and you can discard 2 energy cards from it. So I'm going to play this straight away. And we're going to look at the opponent's hand. Oh, I'm not like I don't know what's in here. But we can discard 2 energy cards. It doesn't say special or basic. It doesn't matter. Just energy cards. So I'm discarding this double colourless and one of the fighting energies. Because I'm mean like that. And then Zorua has a move called Scratch. It does 10 damage. And I'm not going to do it. And the reason is because I'm weak to fighting. If you look at this, he's weak to fighting by 2 times 2. If I do Scratch and hit Sudowoodo for 10 damage, he can then do the same move and hit me for 10 damage next turn with weakness. I will lose that fight, and I'm not ready for that fight just yet. So I'm going to pass. I'm not going to do anything. So we're going to draw a card on this side. Professor's Letter. Okay, this is good. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards. It's not going to get us our double colourless back, but it's a trainer card, it's an item card. We can play as many item cards as we want. And I'm going to get 2 fighting energy cards out straight away. It's going to get us those back at the very least. And because we've gone and searched our deck for something, we shuffle it. So I'm going to put the energy on Sudowoodo because there's nothing else to do right now. But I can't watch and learn because your opponent's Pokemon did not use an attack last turn. So, never mind. I am then going to pass the turn across and Shiftry will get to draw a card. Masquerain! Oh no. Okay, Masquerain is a great card here. We're going to evolve Surskit into Masquerain. Zorua has 1 retreat cost. So we can just discard 1 energy card of any type. So we'll do that. We're going to retreat Zorua. You can only retreat once per turn. You can't just retreat. But we can play an energy card. We haven't played one yet. And Masquerain here takes 20 less damage from attacks. As long as he's active. and I'm going to do Skim Attack, which is going to do 30 damage, and I'm going to draw 2 cards. So we'll draw the 2 cards while we're here, a Dark Energy and a Grass Energy. Brilliant. Sudowoodo is weak to water, but it's still going to hit 30 damage. There you go. So let's draw a card. It's Gigalith. Okay, Gigalith evolves from Boldor, so we're getting close there. We're getting close. We're going to play this potion. Obviously, this potion says remove 2 damage counters, but as obviously the rules state, it's going to be 30. That's an actual real rule as well. So 30 will heal 30 damage and just put Sudowoodo right back where he was. Now, watch and learn means that we can do the same attack. Use it as this attack. So it's basically, if you use an attack during their last turn, you use that attack. So it does basically all the same things as the other attack did. So last turn, Masquerain did Skim Attack, 30 damage and draw 2 cards. So Sudowoodo is going to do Watch and Learn, and we're going to do 30 damage and draw 2 cards. Rog and Roller, that's good. And a Porygon. Okay, we can breathe. We're going to have a bench. We can breathe. Masquerain is resistant to fighting types anyway by 20 and also takes 20 less damage before applying weakness and resistance. So that 30 is only going to be 10 anyway for intimidating Pattern's Pokebody, and then we're going to take another 20 off for resistance. So that damage, that 30 damage, isn't going to hit him at all, but he drew some cards. So there we go. So let's draw a card to start our turn, because obviously the attack is the end of the turn. We'll put a Dark Energy card back on Zorua and get him more powered up. We have nothing else. Boss's Orders is a great card, by the way. It makes the opponent switch, but there's no one to switch with just yet, so we won't worry about that just for the moment. That's this trainer down here. So what we'll do instead is we will play Skim Attack again. 30 damage and draw 2 cards. So let's draw 2. We've got a Seedot, and we have another Zorua. Okay. 30 damage to Sudowoodo. There we go. Let's draw a card to start our turn. It's Pokemon Center Lady. Great card. Heals 60 damage and removes all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. We don't need it yet, but we'll hold that in reserve. And we will put Rog and Roller and Porygon on the bench. And we'll start powering up the Rog and Roller as well. 1 energy card per turn. And we'll do Watch and Learn again. It's going to do another 30 damage and draw 2 cards because it's copying the attack that we saw last turn from the opponent. So we're going to draw our 2 cards. And as mentioned before, it's not going to actually hit Masquerain. But we've got double colourless, which is brilliant because this Gigalith needs 2 normal energies to attack. So that could come in handy. So let's draw a card. It's a Dark Energy. We'll play Zorua onto the bench. We'll play Seedot onto the bench. We'll put a Grass Energy on Seedot. Now I want to look at the opponent's gameplay area here. Rog and Roller is weak to grass times 2. So I'm going to play a really, really nasty move. I'm going to play Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon. I get to choose. So we're going to play Boss's Orders. That's my supporter card for the turn. And we're going to bring Rog and Roller up because I'm horrible. I am so mean. So there we go. I'm going to bring up the Rog and Roller. And we're going to play Skim Attack. It's going to do 30 damage and I'm going to draw 2 cards as always. So there's the 2. We've got another Seedot and a Shiftry. It's not the one I was looking for before. It's not the one I showed you before, but it is good. So we will use him. But 30 damage. Rog and Roller's weak to grass. That's it. That's it. And the thing is, you know from the fact that that's the guy that he attempted to power up, that he's the one that he wanted to use, that you would want to use. So even if you don't know what's in the hand, you're going to be looking at it and going, okay, he's powering up that guy on the bench. He's getting him ready to take over. So you're going to nip that right in the bud and you're going to take him out because he's got 60 HP, 30 damage, weakness times 2. That's 60 damage. Rog and Roller's out. So that's a horrible thing to do, but when you play to win. So we're going to take a prize card. It's a Grass Energy. Okay, cool. And we will bring Sudowoodo back. There's no reason not to at this point. We'll bring him back. And then we'll draw a card for our turn. It's a fighting energy. Now we do have Porygon on the bench, and we have Porygon 2. So we'll play Porygon 2, and we'll evolve him. And we'll put the double colourless energy onto Porygon 2. That's what it looks like. It just shows you 2 colourless energies. It's pretty good, to be fair. He has an ability Pokepower called Download, which means I can discard a supporter card from my hand and use the effect of that card as the effect of this power. That's a way to circumvent the whole you can only play 1 supporter card per turn rule, which is really quite cool, but I've only got 1 supporter card in my hand and I don't want to use it right now. Instead, watch and learn. If your opponent's Pokemon use an attack, use it as this attack. So it's the same thing as before. He doesn't say he has to be active or anything to do it, so even though he was on the bench last turn, we can still do it. Obviously the fighting resistance is going to come into play, so it's not going to hit Masquerain for any damage, but we are going to get to draw 2 cards. We've drawn a Porygon Z. Fantastic. That's something that's going to help us in the long run. So let's draw a card on this side. We've drawn a potion, heals 30 damage. We're not going to worry about that yet, but we will play a Seedot onto the bench, and we will evolve the Seedot that we had in play before into a Nuzleaf. We can't evolve Seedot straight away because the other one, because he's just come into play. What we can do though is we can start to put Dark Energy on this Nuzleaf, because I want to play this Shiftry. It's not the one I showed you before. It's a different Shiftry, but it's actually a bit stronger in a general sense. And the Nipping Cyclone attack is horrible. We don't have any other Shiftrys right now, so we're going to go with him. Luck of the draw kind of thing. Unless, of course, we get what we want out of the next move, because I'm going to do Skim Attack again, 30 damage and draw 2 cards. So we're going to do 30 damage to Sudowoodo. He's still okay. And we're going to draw 2 cards. We've got Weavile and a Dark Energy. Okay. Alright, so let's draw a card. Start our turn. We've drawn a Switch. Okay. Switch is cool because you can literally just switch your Pokemon around if you want. I think that might be what we do. Let's look at this Porygon Z. Porygon Z, once during your turn you can flip a coin. If head, search your discard pile for a trainer card and put it on top of your deck. And Suspicious Beam Beta, 80 damage. If Porygon Z has no rainbow energy attached to it, Porygon Z does 20 damage to itself and is now confused. So I got to be honest with you here. I didn't realise that was the part of this attack when I built this deck, so I don't have any rainbow energy attached to him. I don't have any rainbow energy in this deck. So the question now is, do I play that? Do I roll with that and confuse myself when I have no one else to fall back on, especially with Sudowoodo? I'm going to hold out a little bit and try and get somebody else. So instead, I'm going to play Pokemon Center Lady. Heals 60 damage and removes all special conditions from one of your Pokemon, which is going to heal Sudowoodo all the way back to from 60. I'm going to hold out and try and get another Porygon Z. If I need to use this one, I will, but he's not my best option. So instead, I'm going to do Watch and Learn again. Unfortunately, it's not going to hit him, but we are going to draw 2 cards. There's a Zygarde and a Boldore. Okay, we've got another basic. That's definitely good. So let's draw a card on this turn. Attacking, of course, finishes the turn. And a Grass Energy. So we're just going to play a Grass Energy onto this Nuzleaf here and evolve him into Shiftry. We will evolve this Seedot into Nuzleaf. Even though we haven't got any energy on him yet or anything, it's just helpful because Seedots do not have a lot of HP. So kind of want to make sure there's someone with a bit higher HP on the bench just in case they can hit him. And again, Masquerain with Skim Attack, 30 damage and drawing 2 cards. So 1 and 2. We have just drawn the most powerful Shiftry in the deck. I'll come to him in a second. But 30 damage to Sudowoodo. Let's draw a card. It's a Fighting Energy card. We'll play Zygarde onto the bench and we'll put energy on him. This Zygarde's really good. He's got 120 HP. And Geostrike can also do a lot of damage as well. So, yeah, obviously we want to try and get him powered up, get him moving in the right direction. But I'm just going to do the Watch and Learn again. I'm going to draw more cards. So 1 and 2, we've got a trainer card and a different Porygon Z. That's what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, of course, still not going to hit the Masquerade. So, let's draw our card to start our turn. We've got a Dark Energy. But I'm going to play a Grass Energy onto this Nuzleaf, and I'm going to play this Shiftry. It's one of the newest Shiftrys, and it has a move for 1 Grass Energy, just 1. Tearing Gust, 210. Put this Pokemon and all cards attached in the Lost Zone. So this is an opportunity for me to explain a different mechanic to you. It's called the Lost Zone. The Lost Zone is not the discard pile. You can't get cards out of the Lost Zone unless you have something specifically to say you can. And some cards and some attacks do more damage based on cards you have in a Lost Zone. So some people make specific Lost Zone decks that are centered around discarding cards and things like that. I don't have enough of those cards to make that work. So I've just thrown Shiftry in here because he can just come in and knock somebody out. So he's really powerful. I'm not going to worry about him just yet, but I am going to try and force the hand of my opponent. Masquerade has no retreat cost, so we're going to retreat him, and we're going to bring up the other Shiftry. So let's just do this. And we're going to play Nipping Cyclone. It does 130 damage, and you can discard a random card from your opponent's hand. So 130 damage. There we go. So it's going to put us up to 160. And naturally, Sudowoodo has 90 HP. So Sudowoodo is knocked out. And we're going to get to discard a random card from the opponent's hand. How are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to shuffle the hand. So we're going to flip them over. We're going to group them. And we're going to shuffle them. And the card that we've picked is unbelievable. We've discarded the Porygon Z that I wanted to use. That's absolutely insane. I'm not happy about that. So we're just gonna do this quickly. There we go. Wow. Let's get our prize card for knocking out Sudowoodo. It's a Dark Energy. Okay. I think the hand is forced at this point. We are going to have to play this Porygon Z. Porygon 2 even. And we're going to draw a card to start our turn. It's Mudbray. Okay, Mudbray is a good card. So we have this download Poke Power. You can discard a supporter card from your hand and use the effect of that card as the effect of this power. So I'm going to do that right now with this card here, Bill's Maintenance, which is a trainer supporter. If you have any cards in your hand, shuffle 1 into your deck and draw 3 cards. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do download, so it doesn't count as my supporter card. I'm going to shuffle Boldor into my deck, and I'm going to draw 3 cards. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, lots of energy. I'm going to put the energy on the Zygarde, but I've not used a supporter card this turn, and one of the cards I drew is a supporter card as well. Underground Expedition, you can look at 4 cards from the bottom of your deck, choose any 2 cards that you find there, and put them into your hand. Put the remaining cards back on the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's a really cool card. So let's play that as our supporter. Look at the 4 cards from the bottom of your deck. So let's just quickly do this. Choose 2 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can choose 2 of them and put them in my hand and put the remaining cards back on the bottom of my deck in any order. So I'm going to get the Porygon and the Porygon 2. They go back on the bottom of my deck in any order, which means we don't shuffle them. It specifies obviously what we need to do. We'll put Porygon onto the bench, and now I need to make the decision. Do I evolve to the Porygon Z? I've already played an energy card this turn, so I can't power him up to his attack anyway. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do speed attack for 30 damage, and it's going to hit this Shiftry. He's got 150 HP, by the way, so he's nowhere near being knocked out just yet. But, you know, we're making steps. So let's draw a card, start our turn. It's another Dark Energy. Might as well put that on a Pokemon. Put it on this Zorua that's already got energy cards on him. We'll also play the potion that we have to take 30 damage back off Shiftry. And we will play Nipping Cyclone again. 130 damage. So 70 HP. 130 damage, of course, will destroy that. So he's knocked out. And again, we're going to get to discard a random card. So shuffle the hand. And what do we get? A Fighting Energy. Okay, cool. That's fine. Spread is a really good thing in Tabletop Simulator, I've found, by the way. So there we go. Did I get the prize card for that? I'm not sure. Let's look at the... That's 1, 2... No, 3 Pokemon I've knocked out, so no. Let's get the prize card. By the way, what I just did there was I checked the discard pile. There's the Sudowoodo I knocked out. There's the Roggenrola. There's the Porygon 2, so I counted 3. But let's bring up Zygarde now as the next Pokemon. And obviously the Shiftry just attacked, so that's this guy's turn. We've got a Porygon 2 again. So we might as well evolve him. Pokepower, once during your turn you can search your deck for a Stadium card. Basically when you play Porygon 2 from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you can search your deck for a Stadium card, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. I don't know if I have a Stadium card in here. I don't. That's a supporter card, that's a supporter, that's a Pokemon tool card, and that's an item card. So no. We'll shuffle our deck because we just looked in it, but we didn't get one. So never mind. So Zygarde over here, we're going to play Geostrike, 120. And it does 10 damage to each of my benched Pokemon. Which is unfortunate. But you don't apply weakness and resistance for benched Pokemon, so that's something. But it's a good job we had that potion. Otherwise, Shiftry would be knocked out. Because there's 120 damage, and he's 30 away from being knocked out. Obviously, that's the end of the turn, so let's draw a card. We've got another Dark Energy. Might as well put it on this Zorua here, who hasn't got any energy. And we will play Nipping Cyclone again. 130 damage. It's going to knock out Zygarde. So let's just do that quickly. Just to show you, 130 damage over 120 HP. That don't go. So... there we go. We get another prize card, the Grass Energy, and we get to discard a random card. And it's a Fighting Energy. Okay, cool. Honestly, the whole thing with the discarding the Porygon Z that I wanted to use, that's been the killer in this entire match. Who do I want to bring up now? Probably this Mudbray. So, and the reason for that is I think Porygon 2 is potentially the better option to go with. We've just drawn a Boldore to start our turn. We'll put an energy card down on Porygon 2. I really don't want to evolve him into this guy just yet, but I might have no choice. But we're gonna just end the turn there. We've put our energy card down for the turn, so we can't do anything more. So now we draw a card over this side. Shrine of Memories. This is one of the stadiums I mentioned, where each player's evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. I'm going to play it, Shrine of Memories, and I'm going to show you what that looks like for me. So when I play this, I always do something like this. So you can kind of see, here's Shiftry, and here's all of his moves that he now has because he can use them. I'm still not going to do any of them because Nipping Cyclone is still going to do 130 damage and discard a card, which will knock out Mudbray, who's already got 10 damage on him. And 130 is going to put him onto 140, and he's got 80 HP. So, sorry guys, you're going to have to go play with your Pokeballs somewhere else, I think. He's also knocked out, and we get to discard a random card. I'm getting sick of doing this. I'm getting sick of this. What we got? Gigalith. Oh no. It's not like we've ever had a chance to use him anyway, because the Rock and Roller got pretty quickly. So now it's the only guy we've got. So let's draw a card. It's a Porygon. Okay. The interesting thing about playing Shrine of Memories, of course, is a stadium can be in play for both players, which means each player's evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolution. So that means we can do it on this side too. So let's just do that. It means I can evolve to this Porygon Z. And I don't need to worry about not having access to the attack. It gives me a bit more HP. I can still use 3D attack. So let's put another energy card on him and use 3D attack from its previous evolutions. Flip 3 coins and it does 20 damage times the number of heads. So 20, 40, oh my god, 40. Okay, but 40 is going to be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 160 damage, 150 HP. So that is the end of Shiftry's involvement in this match. We actually have a knockout on this side of the field. It's not going to be enough, unfortunately. I will be honest with you. I think it's going to be game over in a second. We've drawn a Great Ball Trainer. We're not going to get a chance to use it. Oh wait, we will. There's still 2 prize cards left on this side, so maybe we will. We've just drawn How. Support a card, draw 3 cards. So we're going to play that because why not? 1, 2, 3. Sneasel and Surskit. Okay. Well, I'll play the Sneasel and we'll play the Surskit. I've got this Weavile in my hand. That is pretty powerful when powered up. He evolves from Sneasel, so let's start powering up Sneasel. And let's do Tearing Gust. It does 210 damage. Put this Pokemon and all attached cards in the Lost Zone. So I'm just going to designate an area for the Lost Zone. It's just going to be up here. They're in the Lost Zone now. But it knocks out Porygon Z. That's 210 damage. Which puts us on 220. Porygon Z is 110 HP. So that's double the HP you would have with Porygon Z. So there we go. And we get a prize card. Just a C-Dot. So we need to bring up a new Pokemon of our own, which is going to be the Masquerain again. But that's the end of that attack, and so do you need to bring up a Pokemon of their own, which is Porygon. So now it's this guy's turn, Gigalith, over here. We've got an Energy Search. Well, let's play Porygon 2. Let's play the Energy Search, because Energy Search allows us to search our deck for a basic energy card and put it into our hand. So we'll get a Fighting Energy card as well. Shuffle our deck, of course. Put that on Porygon 2. Now, as you can see down here, we have 4 cards in our hand. Porygon 2 has a Pokepower called Backup, where if you have less than 6 cards in your hand, you can draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. So, 1, 2. Rock and Roller! We have all the Boulders. It's ridiculous. Let's play the Great Ball as well. It's an item card. You can play as many item cards as you want. It's only supporters. That's 1 per turn. So look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You can reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. So top 7. So 1, Gigalith. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we have the Mudbray over here. And we have the Gigalith. I'm going to go with Gigalith, if I'm honest with you, because I want to try and get... It's my only option, really. So we'll group these guys back, and we shuffle them back into our deck. That's what Great Ball does. And I think that's it. There's nothing else I can do there. So he can't attack. He needs 2 energies to do it. And we've only got 1 energy on him. So, end of that turn. We're going to pass along. Scott, that's a good card. It's a supporter. You can search for 3 cards in any combination of supporter cards and stadium cards. Really helps you get the stadium out like what I've already got out there. So I don't need him right now. So we'll put him to one side. I will evolve Sneasel into Weavile and put a Dark Energy on him. I'll put this C-Dot onto the bench. And then I'm going to play Masquerain's Skim Attack. We're right back here, boys. 30 damage and draw 2 cards. So we're going to draw 2. 1, 2. There's one of my other stadiums. Meteor Falls. Does the same thing, basically. And 30 damage. 1, 2, 3. Let's draw a card. Fighting Energy. Okay, this is what we need. Evolve to Boldor. Backup. We can do the backup again. We've only got 4 cards. So backup Poke Power, of course, allows us to draw till we have 6. 2 more. Okay. I think it's too little too late, if I'm honest with you, because we have a Weavile on this side that can do 110 damage and is about to do that. I think we've lost this match no matter what. So I'm going to play the switch card here, and I'm going to switch Porygon 2 for Boldor. And I'm just going to try and see if I can get him up. I don't think I will. That's obviously our energy card for the turn we've used. I'm not going to get Gigalith up, I don't think. So I'm really sorry, my man. We tried our best. But we're going to pass the turn across. And we have the memory capsule. We don't need it now. Because one of the things I've learnt when you can play Pokemon, when you can win, get the win. So energy card on Weavile. As before, there's no retreat cost on Masquerain, so we will just retreat him and bring Weavile up. Just going to move across the 2 Dark Energies because they've both got a Grass Energy on them. And Weavile has a move for 110 damage. Slashing Claw. 110. Over 90 HP. Doesn't work, and there we go. So, that's the end of that. We didn't get Gigalith up. I'm really sorry, my man. Last prize card is a Dark Energy. Shiftry wins and goes through. Which is awesome because I didn't get to show you the confusion strategy. So hopefully I'll get to show you next time when we come back. But yeah, these guys right here, these are your winners. They will go through to the next round. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you would have done anything differently. Tell me what you thought to the match. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy and want to see more. And a big thank you just for watching and spending some time with me. A big thank you to Beck Teasy as well, who I use for the background images that I have. Awesome website that I found, and yeah, fantastic. It's all linked down below to where I got those resources from. And a big thank you to the mod creators, I'll link them down below as well, who have made the table that I use, the Pokemon card games, the damage counters, energy counters, the Pikachu dice, all of those things. Thank you so much. Could not do this without you. You've allowed me the opportunity to do something I've always wanted to do, and I really am very thankful. And with all that said, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you next time for our next Pokemon match.